Next up, we have one of our own manufacturing members from Royal Electric. I would like to introduce Mr. Larry Schimmel, who is the Executive Vice President. Larry.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you that you're going to help me with the sales here.
Okay, this is good.
Some of you have seen some of these. Good morning. My name is Larry Schimmel. I'm with Royal Electric Supply. We're an electrical distributor here in Philadelphia. And one thing I can say is in the 96 years history of our company, we've sold a lot of lighting. Today I'd like to discuss with you the true cost of lighting, and hopefully I can shed some light. Perhaps the cost of lighting might be actually more than what you really think. What I'd like to do is compare some of the current sources of light to the new guy on town, which is LED. You've probably all seen it. So what I'd like to do is make a comparison. We've got the various sources of light. We have our incandescent here, which you're all familiar with. We've got mercury vapor. We have high pressure sodium, metal halide, tungsten. You've seen the long little tubes in your house probably, and fluorescent, of course. All of these have positives and negatives to them. What we're going to do is compare it to the LED, because I think that's probably the most efficient and best source of light today. I'd like to make the comparison in a few different ways. So starting off, there's three areas I'd like to touch on. First is safety. Second, durability. And third, we'd like to discuss disposal. These are just the first three areas I'd like to talk about. So, as far as durability is concerned, all our sources of light today use glass, and most of them have some sort of a filament inside. So, generally they're pretty durable, but they can all be kind of fragile. LED, of course, it has no glass, there's no filament inside, and so therefore nothing's going to break and nothing's going to vibrate to death. It's just going to work. Talking about disposal, anything that has mercury inside, which is really all these HID sources as well as fluorescent, they all have mercury. Anything that has mercury in it has to be disposed of as hazardous waste, and that is really not going to be very costly. LED contains no mercury, so therefore you just throw it in the trash, it's all inert, and it's safe, no extra cost for that. Let's talk about the life of a lamp. So we have a range of light. We have incandescent, and incandescent, of course, all the way up from incandescent all the way up through fluorescent. The range of light life goes from 1,000 hours all the way up to 40,000 hours. You can pay extra and get some longer life fluorescents, but fluorescent is about the longest at about 40,000 hours. LED has a range from 25,000 hours up through 100,000 hours. Now what's 100,000 hours of life? It's really 11.4 years. So I can take this light bulb, plug it in, walk away, come back in 11.5 years, and it should still be lit. So what does that mean as an owner and an operator of lighting? You're going to replace your lamps 2 to 3 times less with LED. So that's a cost in material savings. But what a lot of people don't really consider is the cost of ownership in maintenance. So every time you have to change a lamp, you've got to send somebody up a ladder on a scissors truck, scissors lift, forklift, and you generally use 2 guys to change light bulbs. So you've got the hourly rate, plus there's also a concern of safety. Every time a guy goes up on a ladder, there's a potential for injury. So there's some significant costs in addition to just the light fixture, the light bulb that you're replacing. And these are all things that we have to concern ourselves with in terms of cost and the life. So life of light fixture really makes a big difference. Functionality. So there's three areas of functionality where LED is really going to make a difference. So we've got cold temperature, we have instant on, and we have the ability to dim. And this is going to touch on what we've been talking about. So cold temperature. So if you've got a food processing plant or cold storage, you want to operate a lamp as cool as possible. So you use a fluorescent lamp. Fluorescent lamps, while they're operating, generally you can touch them, they're not that hot. You don't want to use the HID lights because they're counterproductive to what you're trying to do is keep the place cold. These things run very hot. So we want to keep it. We want to keep things cool. LED, of course, as you can see. Anybody want to touch this here? This incandescent light. Now it's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit right now. But this thing, we can hold this all day long. Now I've got some fixtures in the back that run equals to 400 watt metal halides, and you can do the same thing. They absolutely run cool. So LED is a fabulous application for cold storage. Instant on is something we don't think about a lot, and why is that important? Usually fluorescents, incandescents, halogens, they come on as soon as you turn the light bulb on. But all the HIDs, which are used in high bay areas such as factories, warehouses, large open spaces outdoor, they have a 5 to 10 minute warm-up period. In that 5 to 10 minutes, you're using all of your energy, 100% energy, but you're only getting an incremental output of light. So you're wasting a lot of energy with that warm-up period. LED, of course, comes on instantly, no problem, every time. It's also great for use with occupancy sensors and motion sensors because it comes on instantly. Dimmability. Now, dimmability is not something we really think about when it comes to industry and commerce. It's usually we're having people over for dinner and you're going to dim the lights and make a nice warm atmosphere. But think about this. If you've got a huge warehouse and it's lined up, you have a bunch of aisles lined up, and you've got a security guy, and all he has to do is walk up and down and just look down those aisles and see that there's no dead bodies and there's no water on the floor from leaks in the floor, ceiling and stuff. He doesn't need 100% of the light in order to see down an aisle. So the dimmability capabilities of LED allow you to program your high bays, your low bays, even some outdoor lighting. You can program it to operate at 40% energy, 40% output. That's enough for anybody to look down an aisle and see that everything's okay. But when time comes and somebody has to go pull an order or check stock, look at inventory, you can walk down that aisle. They'll have a motion sensor on the front end of the aisle. As soon as you hit that motion sensor, it blinks up to 100%. Now you've got all the power you need, and you can do your work in the aisle. As soon as you come out, it's probably on a timer. 5-10 minutes later, it blinks back down to 40%, and you're now saving yourself 60% of your energy for the duration that that warehouse is lit. If you can operate a warehouse maybe 50% of the time at only 40% of the energy, that's a huge cost savings. You can run up the numbers, and you're going to find yourself saving an awful lot of money just because the ability of LED, it can dim. It also dims incrementally, much like your household lamps. Some are dimmable, some are not. So you just have to be careful of what it is you're looking at. And lastly, the cost of energy. So Pico here is doing a really great job. What they really want us to do is stop using all their electricity. Right? It's a lot cheaper to pay us to buy new and more energy efficient products than to build a new power plant. So what their real goal is, get us to stop using more energy. Now that only benefits us, of course, because not only are we using less, we're paying for less. So it's a great opportunity to use smart ideas programs, get some money to help with the cost of the capital equipment and the installation, and at the same time save money on the ongoing. So your paybacks are tremendous. That's about it. I hope it really enlightened you to what the true cost of energy is. If I leave you with nothing, let me just ask you one question. Would you prefer to spend $9.56 to illuminate this for 1 year, or 96 cents to illuminate this for 1 year?